something enormous is lying almost motionless inside the vegetation. At this distance, its body looks less like a snake and more like a huge living cylinder. Then the eye opens. The giant is awake. But how large is this animal really? In Guyana, the rainforest begins its day. Long before the heat reaches its highest point, an expedition is moving deeper into a landscape where some of the forest's largest animals remain almost impossible to see. Every shadow can conceal movement, and every patch of vegetation can hide an animal that has learnt to remain unseen. The search continues without certainty. Then a movement catches the attention of one of the boatmen. What first appears to be a fallen branch has a pattern that gives it away. The closer the camera looks, the less convincing the idea of an ordinary snake becomes. Its body has extraordinary girth, giving the animal a mass that is difficult to appreciate from a distance. Getting closer reveals the importance of distance. A giant wild snake does not need to chase anything to command respect. The visible section is only part of the animal. Much of its length remains hidden beneath the vegetation. The field estimate places this individual at around 5 meters long, an imposing size even for a species built for exceptional strength.
Its patterned skin is more than camouflage. The irregular markings help break up the outline of a large body in shadowed vegetation.
The stillness is deceptive. Even a resting anaconda remains a highly specialized predator. Anacondas spend much of their lives close to water, where their heavy bodies are easier to support and conceal. This watery world also explains much about the snake's hunting strategy. In water, its great weight becomes an advantage rather than a burden. An anaconda does not need speed to be dangerous. Its strategy depends on concealment, patience, and physical power. Ambush predators often win by remaining unnoticed, until the distance between hunter and prey becomes very small. When anacondas seize substantial prey, their muscular bodies can constrict tightly around it. Once feeding begins, a snake this large relies on an extraordinary anatomical adaptation. Prey can be swallowed whole. The forked tongue is part of another sensory system, collecting chemical information from the surrounding air. Those chemical signals help the snake interpret what is happening around it. When the tongue stops, the forest seems to become still with it. And then the eye opens. The animal is no longer simply resting. There is no attack, no chase, and no need for one. The safest response is simply to give the animal space. The encounter reveals something larger than one snake. This forest can support animals. They are of remarkable size. Leaving the water reveals another giant, hidden in the same ecosystem. The next giant is rooted rather than moving, but its scale is no less extraordinary. Its buttress roots spread outward like enormous wooden walls, stabilizing a tree built for the rainforest's demanding conditions. Against a trunk like this, human scale becomes almost meaningless. And beneath these giants, another world is constantly at work. Among the leaves, something much smaller presents a far stranger story. The strange structures are not part of the moth's normal anatomy. They are fungal growth. Fungi that infect insects can grow within their hosts, turning a tiny animal into part of the fungus's life cycle. In some fungal infections, changes in host behavior can place the dying insect where fungal spores are more likely to spread. Higher on the vegetation, the infected insect can become a platform from which spores eventually reach the surrounding environment. The forest floor is a laboratory of interactions, most of them too small to notice without careful observation. Fungi occupy countless ecological roles here, from decomposing plant matter to interacting with living animals. Above the microscopic battles on the forest floor, the giant trees create the architecture of the entire ecosystem. Enormous animals, enormous trees, and microscopic organisms exist within the same connected system. And somewhere beside the water, the giant snake remains exactly where it was found. Its stillness is a reminder that survival does not always require movement. Sometimes the advantage is simply remaining unseen. For an animal this large, the rainforest itself becomes camouflage. The expedition leaves the giant where it belongs, undisturbed in its own environment. What looks like a single extraordinary encounter is actually one glimpse into a much larger network of life. A giant predator, a towering tree, and a microscopic parasite may seem unrelated, yet each depends on the same living forest. As daylight fades, the forest does not become empty. It simply changes its rhythm. In a forest this rich, the greatest discoveries may be the one. For more journeys into the untamed world, subscribe to Earth Untamed.